Hey everybody, it's Michael Golzmane back with you here. And in this video, I want to talk a bit about Saturn karma. And I want to do with you in just a moment a Saturn energy clearing. You're going to want to really stay tuned for that because it's some of the most impactful type of clearing work you can do. So many of us in the West, like me, are used to hearing about beyond the planets being physically in our solar system. We're used to hearing about them in something called astrology. But there's a unique astrological system to India called Vedic astrology. And in this system, they have a little bit more of a specific orientation and perspective on what these planets mean. They say that the planets grasp our karma. In other words, all of the energy coming to us from the ancestors throughout our infinite soul's history, and this means past lifetimes, and earlier in this lifetime, that energy is stored, in a sense, by the planets. And as the planets move physically, but also energetically and archetypally through our life, through the zodiac, they basically bring up that karma, not in order to punish us, but in order to help us to learn and grow from it and to become free beings, karmically free or even spiritually free, which might be considered to be a spiritual liberation, free from the impacts of karma and free to basically live the life of our divine destiny on the planet. So out of all of those planets, Saturn is considered to be one of the perhaps most impactful, often considered the most difficult of the planets. It's said that Saturn is a taskmaster, is kind of a hard rule enforcer in our lives. And it can seem like this planetary influence is negative towards us. It can seem like Saturn is very harsh. The perspective on Saturn often is that he will not let us get away with simply not really learning lessons in life, but will force us to, time and time again, confront challenges and problems. Even if we've worked on them a little bit, Saturn will not be content until we've really resolved the entire karma there. And it's said in the Vedic tradition that if we are able to heal our relationship with Saturn, if we're able to resolve what Saturn is bringing us, then basically no other planet, no other perspective of karma or source of karma can really say anything, can really even touch us after that point, metaphorically speaking, after we have worked through our Saturn, because Saturn is considered to be the ultimate, the most difficult, the most challenging karma to actually break through. And so one of the things that distinguishes the Vedic system from the Western system, we can do readings, we can give people some psychological input, we can tell them how to more think about and process their lives, and that's all incredibly useful. In the Vedic system, it's very tied into the priests that are present in the Hindu tradition. And why that's significant is that the Vedic tradition isn't just a reading. Vedic tradition is also, there's an aspect of it called remedies or called rituals that you can perform sometimes, some aspects of them, but that priests there are also trained over many, many years and decades to perform. Now, these are types of spiritual clearings. They're spiritual clearings that are very deeply rich and archetypal. They work with perform on particular dates and times in alignments with the planets. They're based on your birth chart sometimes. What do you need in this moment? Based on your birth chart, what do you need in this moment? Based on how old you are and what's going on in your life now, challenges and symptoms you're having. So it is an entirely developed system of spiritual clearing and healing. And it has intrigued me over many decades. I wasn't born into that tradition. But as I began to open my mind to the possibilities of life, of spirit, of God, being more energy fields rather than people, male beings in the sky who are giving or not giving certain blessings to us, I began to look at this tradition and I began to work with it and merge it more with my own experiences in energy clearing and healing techniques that I had also learned and developed. And so what I've started to do is I've started to work with the remedies given to us over many thousands of years in this tradition. Worked with the various, but not working with them in a literal sense, working with them in the energetic sense, which is where their power really is. And so, I am saying all of this to say that when I first started working with Saturn in my own personal life, as he is one of the most afflicted planets in my chart, and I started working with him in my clients' lives, I started to see some real miraculous, almost immediate results oftentimes. It's because of the specific nature of the remedies that are Saturn specific. This isn't just sending energy. This isn't just asking white light or asking Archangel Michael to come in and cut cords. Nothing wrong with any of that. These are specific, though, to this tradition of working with the different sounds, different lamps and lighting, different types of herbs, different types of incense, but not working with them literally. I don't have all of that stuff with me here. I'm working with them by invoking their consciousness, the consciousness of the remedy, the consciousness of this remedy or of this temple or of this mantra that has been repeated. This temple remedy has been performed millions of times, perhaps over many thousands of years. And by doing that, I'm finding that we can get around even having to do the physical act itself. We can actually begin working with alleviating planetary karma. This is really a revelation to me. It's something that's very much missing often in the West. We're often aware of, maybe I'll do a clearing on the new moon or on the full moon. And that's good. But there are these specific strategies we can use. And I use them in my group clearings and individual clearings all the time to work with the different planets and even the different gods and goddesses. I consider all of these to be archetypes, to be principles that are universal no matter our belief system. They are basically talking about this is what spirit, this is what the universe is doing. And when our individual spirit is out of harmony with what the universe is doing, that's when we begin to experience problems. So we can get back into harmony with the universe by, among other things, doing remedies on a regular basis. So in this video, I want to give you a sampling of a Saturn remedy that you can receive right now. So if you want to get comfortable, get relaxed, I'm going to begin to invoke that energy now. So I'm going to begin to tune in to the energy and sort of prepare the space for us here. I just want to invite you to relax, take a few deep breaths. I'm going to ask the surround to protect you in a shield of love, light, and healing. And make sure that your entire being and energy field is prepared for this work, cleared of surface blocks, that your own higher intelligence understands how to do the work that we're about to do. Remember that the planets and no gods, goddesses, or force in the universe are against you. They are not punishing you for anything. That is a made-up theory of religion, that God punishes us for things. But no, the universe is really wanting one thing, for each of us individually and for all of creation to be liberated, to be free of all of our encumbrances, you could call it our karma, our ego. And so one of the ways we can get there sequentially is by doing these types of spiritual clearings. So take a breath. I'm just going to ask that your energy field, again, be opened, cleared, aligned, and prepared for this work that we're about to do. We're going to ask that each of our higher intelligences become aware of the most important Saturn temple vortex that is available to us on this earth plane in this moment, and become fully aware and workable with all known or unknown remedies that have ever been performed to Saturn in this vortex from time immemorial through now. Most of temple remedies are performed multiple times per day, every day of the year, for hundreds or even thousands of years. And so we are invoking that energy field right now as we're doing this. You might ask, well, are we just taking that energy and using it for our own purposes and like taking it and pulling it out of the temple or something like that, or from people who have participated before? Absolutely not. That's not the way energy actually works. You know, energy increases as it's shared, and so we are actually enhancing the field of the energy for everyone, past, present, and future, who are participating in those remedies more physically. We're going to ask in this moment to clear and apply all known or unknown and needed Saturn remedies associated with this vortex for each one of us right now. And what's going to happen is that just by placing our attention there and by letting that intention ride over the stream of energetic current that we're bringing into this video, it's automatically, these remedies are going in to your own soul history and soul record and are automatically transmuting for you all kinds of Saturn-related blocking issues. These are intractable karma, difficult karma, long-standing suffering, things that are on repeat in your life, things that cannot be cleared just by a surface shift. It's something that's really deep down, again, not a punishment. It's because there may be something in our soul that has been long-term, that we've been dealing with for 100 lifetimes or 1,000 lifetimes or 1,000 generations of our lineage. And Saturn, as all of creation, all of spirit, wants us to be free, not just to have a less intense illusion, right? So in order to do that, we have to transmute the energy. So take a breath, drop your attention within, and notice the shifts and changes that are happening. Now, I'm not even mentioning to you exactly what the remedies we're working with, what the temple we're working with. That's all encoded into the energy through my years of practice with the energy. We can get more specific as to what these remedies and temples are, but it's not always necessary, just much like with Reiki. For instance, you do Reiki, you don't necessarily have to know what current of energy is this. It's just all for the highest and best good of those involved. We're asking to continue to clear anything hidden, dormant, or inactive, and clear out the root. We're doing this kind of one Saturn focused point for you to give you a taste of it, because it's so amazing. Okay, I'm going to ask for one more thing. I'm going to ask for an infinite number of priests at an infinite number of Saturn temples to chant an infinite number of times on your behalf right now the prime Saturn mantra, Om Sanecharaya Namaha. We're going to ask to automatically do that without us having to repeat that mantra. We're going to put that intention into the field of energy of this clearing. We repeat mantras. Mantras are one type of remedy. Many people experience changes if you do it enough. But we can use the mantras in this way, programming them into the energy, letting them sort of influence and ride into the current of energy that we're channeling. See, I'm sort of moving my hands here, just kind of moving that energy through. And by asking, I'm just making a statement of asking for this very deep, infinite type of repetition of the mantra on your behalf that gives us the full measure of the power of the mantra to transmute karma for you. So just feel that shift. Some of you may have never felt a Saturn clearing before, so this is really particularly important to you. Remember, these, like with any therapeutic process, it's not a one or done thing. You don't just do it once and then you're done. You keep chipping away at it. This is a way to support you. Saturn karma clearings, as well as karma clearings for all the planets, are very important. This is, I think, the main thrust of my work, is to bring this type of planetary clearing and remedy awareness to a Western audience so that we can recognize we don't just have to think different during Mercury retrograde. We can actually do remedies for Mercury during that time, and we can use that not in place of thinking differently or be having a different awareness, but to actually help resolve our karmic database. We're going to ask to finalize this clearing for you. Feel it. I'm going to ask to seal this clearing in and to make it permanent for you from this moment forward. I invite you to place your hands over your lower abdomen or on your knees at this moment, just to anchor this clearing in. You want to center yourself and ground yourself after any type of spiritually expansive experience, meditation, a clearing like this, whatever it may be. Take a breath. Feel the shift in your awareness. That's where clearings begin. That's where spiritual work shifts. It shifts it within us. Then our life, our consciousness becomes a law, so to speak, unto our world. That's when we begin to see changes show up in our lives. And often it takes co-creative action. So once our inner consciousness is more cleared, we can begin to act in different ways. Act in ways that are different than our old worn out karma, which is being cleared, might have dictated. We now have a greater inner freedom. That means we have an inner freedom to choose something differently in life. That means we can then choose to move into rapport with our purpose, our mission, our dharma. And that's when we're co-creating with spirit. That's when things in life can begin to get better. Thank you so much for joining me for this clearing once again, friends. My name is Michael Golzmane. Once again, if you want to click below this video, you can leave comments. I'm happy to respond to you here on YouTube, or you can click to my website, clearandconnect.com. We have group clearings every week there. Individual clearings also available. And over 400 past clearings that are all energetically potent right now, even though they were recorded in the past, much like this YouTube video, right? You're feeling it now, even though I've recorded it before you made it. The group clearings on my website work that same way. We're on a variety of topics. Keep with this work, keep sticking with it, keep going deeper with it, and it's going to support every area of your life unfolding in a more blessed way. Till next time, friends, peace and blessings to you. Bye-bye.